Nigeria's economic potential over the years has been constrained by many structural issues, which includes but not limited to foreign exchange volatility, policy somersaults, inadequate infrastructure, tariff and non-tariff barriers to trade, obstacles to investments, lack of confidence in currency valuation, and a rise in inflation, among others. The macroeconomic fundamentals, however, took its toll on the country's economic performance as the nation recorded a 3.2 trillion naira trade surplus between January and June 2022. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, foreign trade in goods statistics for the first half of the year, Nigeria's total exports stood at 14.5 trillion naira, while imports stood at 11.3 trillion naira, which gives a trade surplus of 3.2 trillion naira. A trade surplus is an economic indicator of positive trade balance in which exports of the nation outweighs its imports. To help us understand this and what it means for our economy and how it's affecting the country's trade volume and other sectors of the entire economy, I'm being joined live from our Abuja studios by Professor of Accounting. He's at Nile University of Nigeria, Professor Ofili Ugwudioha. Prof, good afternoon, and it's good to have you on the show.
Tolu, good afternoon once again, Tolu, and thank you for having me here.
Right, it's really good to see you, Prof. Prof, tell us more about trade surplus. I know we're looking at between the month of January and June 2022, but this trade surplus, it seems to be like a positive for us. We did more of exports than imports. Take us through these figures. Prof, did you get my question?
Yeah, but you are still talking. So let me come again. Let me come in here. Like I said, good afternoon, and thank you for having me here. Let me start with what makes up trade surplus. Trade surplus comes as a result of few basic things. One is exchange rate. Another one is natural endowment. Then another one is increase in economic activities and increase in the export. Looking at these three basic things, there are some others, but looking at these three basic things I mentioned, there are two things that concerns Nigeria here. One is natural endowment, that Nigeria is endowed with natural resources. The key of them, or the main issue in those natural endowment, is oil and gas. Then, the issue of productivity is not a part of our reason for having trade surplus. Then coming to another factor, which is exchange rate, you can see that exchange rate volatility is a part of what affected this trade surplus. I will explain this because it's more of a calculative or computational issue before you even get it or understand it. First of all, our exchange rate, official exchange rate last year was 410. And currently, the exchange rate now is 144 per dollar. Then, if you subtract 110 from 144, if you subtract 110 from 144, or even 135, as it may fluctuate, you are getting a difference of $25.57 per a barrel. of oil produced in Nigeria. And if you multiply that by the number of days that oil is produced per year, you are getting around 4.89 trillion. Only the difference of exchange rate. And I come again for further explanation. In Nigeria, Nigerian government continues increasing exchange rate of naira to dollar, thereby depreciating naira against dollar to get more naira when they sell crude oil. But an ordinary man may not understand this, but this is why I have to explain it. But this depreciating naira against dollar, so that when you get this amount of dollar and convert to Nigerian naira, you get more money to spend here. It is very injurious to Nigerians because it strangles the economy, it strangles trading activities, it strangles production activities, it strangles even the income earners. But to them, they are getting more money. So that is basically why you have this surplus. Because between last year and this year, any dollar, any barrel of oil you produce, you are having a difference of 25.57. You multiply it, you see that once you export it, you are getting more naira there because you depreciated your currency. But this is against the actual economic system, because you should depreciate when you are exporting goods and services outside, many goods and services outside, so that your economy will get your goods and services you are selling to outsiders will be cheaper, then others will buy it. But if you look at Nigeria today, nothing is going on in terms of manufacturing. Almost trading activities have been strangulated, and where are we going? When government will get this money and we ourselves here cannot feed ourselves, we cannot pay our children's school fees because it brings inflation, because this depreciation of our currency has brought inflation into the system, in the sense that the goods we are buying last year for 200 naira is now 300 or 400 naira because of that inflated currency. So that's the problem, but it is difficult for us to know it. And government knows it, but they will not tell the public the truth. So that is basically where our trade surplus comes from. It does not come from production because we are not producing. It just comes from cutting away the crude and selling it selling it to the international market and devaluing your naira so that you get more value in naira here for government to spend, thereby inflicting more hardship on your citizenry and on the economy. So that's the problem. I believe that the economic planners should be able to look at these things and know that it's not beneficial. Because how many people are involved in this governance that you will spend all this money, maybe around 1 to 5% of the populace, you will spend all this money, and around 99 or 95% will suffer. So that's the key problem. There's nobody who will convince me with any other argument for this trade balance. If the person is ready to convince me, let's put it on the table analytically and discuss it.
Prof, I like your detailed response now, making us understand what this means and what is